Call this library board meeting to order. First up, I know we have some special guests that will speak a little later. Is there any other citizen communication for the evening? Okie dokie. The next thing, this is our last meeting for the year, which means we have some changeover coming for next year. So we just wanted to give a big thank you to any of our board members who are departing us today, and this is your last meeting. It's been great working with you all. And to any of our new board members who will be joining us next year, both in either.
And I think we
permanent
do
roles
have
or-
one new board member.
Yep. Hi, I'm Larissa Reisner. I'm one of the new library board members. Happy to be here.
Very happy to have you.
Congratulations.
Our other two board members will be Lisa Sparkman and Laura, I'm sure I'm going to destroy this name, Goch, or Gotch. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So.
Well, we welcome them to the board.
And what was your name again?
Larissa Reisner.
Nice to meet you.
And next up, did everyone have a chance to look over the minutes from our last meeting? Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
And a second? Awesome. Okay, so that moves us over to Jennifer and our library policies.
Okay, so I made the changes that we spoke about last time. I think most of those were just incidental changes. The biggest change was to the Fab Lab policy, and it is, here we go. So it's under equipment 3.10, and it's page 11, I believe. I hope I got the table of contents right. I always screw it up. Okay, yes, so 3.10.1 Fab Lab equipment, which I just realized I don't have in the table of contents, I don't think, nope. So that's one correction I need to make. We had talked about the sublimation printer policy and how it was very similar to the 3D printer policy. And as I was trying to work through that, I thought maybe we just need to do a library equipment policy for the Fab Lab equipment that just sort of was a broader policy so that we don't have to keep changing it every time we get a new piece of equipment. So that would be the biggest one. If y'all want to take a look at that. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Why? Maybe I'm just not seeing it. Second guessing myself.
You did the right thing.
Oh, it is there. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it should be. And I'm sure that then will affect all the other pages after that. So other than that, did y'all have any other changes or additions to the policies?
I was looking through it and I saw a couple things. On page 4, section 1.2, library board. The library board serves an advisory capacity to the librarian. Should that be library director? Because it's capital librarian.
No, it shouldn't be capital. I thought I took all those capitals out. I'm so bad about that. I don't know why I want to capitalize library, but I do. Library board, to the library. It should be to the library
To the library.
or library director, but it may be the library assistant director. I don't know. What do y'all think? Should it be like library director or just library?
I think library director is good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
agree.
I can make that change.
And then the other one that I kind of noticed right at the beginning was under page 5, 2.2, guest responsibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth bullet point down says disruptive guests of any age will be given a warning. Warnings for young children will be directed to a parent or attending adult if they can be found. Should we cross out if they can be found, remove that? Because
Okay.
I mean, if they're not found, then that's like a different issue, right?
Yeah.
But that was it, yeah.
Okay. so they can vote to approve as amended.
Okay.
If they're so inclined.
So going with the little amendments we made this evening, are we ready to vote to approve as we've amended it tonight?
There'll be a
A
motion.
motion to vote.
Sure. I have a motion to approve the policies.
And a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Change approved.
Okay. Okay, puzzle exchange. That's yours, Matt.
So we've got some special guests with us. Melissa Roth runs the, I guess not just Hutto, but Hutto is where I found it, but the Central Texas Puzzle Exchange. And so, I do puzzles just to kind of chill out and relax. I think it keeps my mind sharp, looking at pieces, looking at, different colors and trying to match things up. And so I really enjoy puzzles, but, I started to get quite a stack of them. And puzzles are expensive, like $20, $25, and I'm like, I'm not paying that for a puzzle. I got a kid in college. So I started getting puzzles from Goodwill, but Goodwill prices went up, and sometimes they're missing pieces or the box is open or anything like that. And so I started looking online for puzzle stuff, and I happened upon the free jigsaw puzzle swap Central Texas. And I went to my first meeting, which was 2 months ago. I couldn't make it last month. And there was an entire church room full of puzzles. And I was like, oh my gosh, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 kids puzzles, every kind of puzzle. And so I had brought a box with like 7 of them in. I was like, well, here's my box. And I was like, do I get to pick 7 now? And they were like, no, take as many as you want. And I was like, what? And so I walked out of there with like 15 different puzzles, that I've enjoyed working on. And I just think it would be a great thing to bring to Pflugerville. So I'll let Melissa speak on it more right now.
You want me to stand up, or is it okay?
It's totally up to you.
Okay, my name is Melissa Roth, and this is Denise Phillips, and she is also an administrator, and there's a third one, Allison Wagner. She couldn't be here tonight, but Denise actually runs the Hutto one. I want to give her all the credit for that. Just to give some background, when we moved here, he and I moved here, my husband, Dennis, turn on. When we moved here from Victoria, Texas, in 2012, we moved to Austin. And in Victoria, we had started a puzzle swap in 2001, and it was running strong by the time we left, and really doing well. And so I wanted to start one here. So in 2013, we started one here with 3 members. We have 635 now. And in 2015 is when it really kind of started to grow, because we started meeting at the Austin Library in Millwood. And a lot of people from the neighborhood started coming, and then people would come in to go to the library, and they'd say, what's going on in that room? And they'd come in and start coming to the puzzle swap. So it really kind of grew there. But then when COVID hit, at that point we were having 3 swaps a month, one at Millwood, one in Hutto, and one in Leander. And COVID hit, and then like everybody wanted to do puzzles. So it kind of tripled and doubled and everything quickly in size, and we had nowhere to meet inside. So we started doing trunk swaps, which we're still doing today. The trunk swaps we have in Leander, in Taylor, in Austin, in Round Rock, and we have them all over the place, randomly. And they usually get about 20 to 25 people showing up at each one. The one in Hutto gets an average of 60 people attending. And it is at the same time, the 3rd Saturday of every month at 1 o'clock, and it lasts a half hour. And the actual swapping part is a half hour. But the admins have to spend about an hour and a half, because we have to set up tables and put all the puzzles out and then put it all down. So we would love to be able to have one here. We have continued the trunk swaps, and we have the one there at Hutto. We have a Facebook group. That's how we meet. I gave you each a card. That's why we're wearing our shirts. Yay! And anyhow, we have a Facebook group, and that's where we post the events, like when it's going to be and where it's going to be and things like that. And we have simple rules. We don't allow any selling or any mailing of puzzles or anything. And everybody that's on there, the 635 people, they're local. They're in this area. We don't accept people from like Houston or wherever. We tell them, find your own swap, start your own swap, do whatever. We offer advice to everybody. And there have been a few satellite ones that have started like in Temple and and Buddha, I think, and
Kerrville.
Kerrville, a couple other places. So they've asked us, well, how do you do it? And we gave them all the information. So it's been such a blessing. And we've all, I mean, we have, she and I probably in our garages or whatever have about 15 or 20 boxes of puzzles because we're the ones who take them home every time and keep them in between. We'd love to have a swap here in your library. You have such a beautiful facility. We actually had a few here a few years ago, but we had them right out there in the hallway, and so that didn't really work very well. So we would love to do that, and we were thinking maybe quarterly, or however works with your calendar, obviously. We were thinking maybe the first Saturday on a quarterly basis at some time, but again, whatever works with your calendar, because you have lots of events on there, we know that. So anyhow, if you'd let us know about that, we appreciate it. We need tables and space. We don't need any chairs or anything. And we'll put everything back however it was when it started, whatever you need us to do. We would estimate about 45 minutes for swap time, since it's quarterly rather than 30. And then, but it would depend how many tables we need to put out and how long we would actually need the room. So if you have any questions, we're here to answer them, but.
I do. Because our meeting rooms are booked almost all the time, how much space do you need? How many people at any given time during that 45 minutes do you usually get?
Well, like I said, at Shadow, it's about 60 people.
About
We would
60?
estimate we'd get at least 30 or 40 people.
Based on the size that the church in Hutto is, I would advise all 3 of these rooms, if we could. So.
That would make it almost impossible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that because the rooms are booked during the weekend?
Yeah. It's not just the library and library departments. They're open for anybody to reserve them, usually for a fee. And so they are booked almost all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's other ways that we could work it out where it might not necessarily be a room, but it might be a space somewhere in the library or a space in the courtyard or something like that. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying we need to work on the logistics.
And we can work with less space.
Yeah.
We're just, what we do at Hutto is we have everybody come to the door and give us their bags of puzzles, and we set them all out on the tables, and then everybody comes in and trades at once. So, however would work for you, but we could fill more space, but if you give us less space, we can do that too. Like I said, when we met here before, we only did it, I think, about 4 times, am I correct? But we were like, one time we were in the hallway right up here, and another time we were back in a corner somewhere. It was difficult to find space to set them out. So we really just need the space to set the puzzles out.
Okay.
Are you open to other days, like Sunday, would that be a possibility?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Sunday. Yeah, we do
That
some
might be
swaps.
We tend to be
do some
less
swaps
busy.
on Sundays too, yeah.
So.
But, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, are the rooms that, like if the library designates a certain day and time that's unrentable, would we have to submit that to the city?
No, you would book it through us, but we have regular programs that go on and we have regular meetings from outside groups that meet here. I'm thinking that.
Yeah, my idea is kind of make this like a regular program that the library would benefit for, that we would dedicate space for, if possible.
And I'm fine with that, but I can't give up 3 meeting rooms for one group, even just once a month.
Yeah.
What I could do is maybe look at doing it in the storytime room, which is a larger space,
Okay.
in the kids area, or perhaps somewhere else in the library. But because, when we're dealing with outside groups, these rooms are generally
Yeah,
paid for.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I can't just give them up
I
like
understand.
that.
And like I said, we're fine with this
Yeah.
too, because we do trunk swaps on Wednesdays, so, you can let us know what you can have available.
Yeah.
That's why I think that.
on Friday evening.
Yeah, I'm sure we can work something out. I need to sit down with the programmers, make sure that we're not stepping on their programs, and find a good space where it's easily accessible, and has enough room for you guys.
That'd be great, that'd be
Okay.
great. So you just, let us know what your ideas are about it. We're pretty adaptable. Like I said, we've been doing trunk swaps and,
No, I like the idea.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like fun. I should do puzzles. But like I said, I put together my vanity for the bathroom, and that's all the puzzle I'm going to do for a while. But yeah, I think that we can get together and work something out, so,
Would I be able to approach the city and ask if the city would rent the 3 rooms out for specific, so we're trying to do it quarterly. If I approach the city council and say, hey, I want to bring this to the library, can the city pay to rent these 3 spaces out on a dedicated day once every 3 months? Would that be an option?
as a citizen, you are welcome to go to the city council with any recommendations or asks that you want. I don't,
Like, I don't want you
Yeah.
to think like I'm trying to subvert you,
No,
but
no, no.
I'm trying to make it happen where, like,
I think we
if I
can-
can take it to the city and get their approval.
Just keep in mind, they
they'll-
don't even have a place to meet right
And
now.
they'll pay for it.
They're meeting at the police station.
yeah, they're meeting at
What happened to the other hall they
municipal
were
court.
They're
They
using
used it for
office
offices.
space. They're bursting
What?
at the seams. They're, so.
I mean, the first of the year's coming, we could do something where, there is actually a form that we could do where it was a regular thing, but you would have to pay for the room each month throughout the year. If you're not a 501c3, if you are a 501c3, it's a lot cheaper. But private groups, it's a little bit more. But I think we could probably work something out where we partner with the puzzle group and it's not something that's going to be taking space away from other groups that are paying for it. But if you want to rent the room, you're perfectly welcome to go online and fill that information out and rent it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Storytime room is a good room.
I was just gonna say the plant swap, like outside in the courtyard.
That's a library
It's
program, yeah.
And so that kind of space though, that's not, is that rentable?
It's
also?
rentable,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
It just gets miserable
I
around
think that we
office.
could do it as a partnership and not.
I think so too. I don't think it would be necessary for you to do that.
Holly, you talking about the middle area? That's a
At
good
the
idea.
courtyard, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't work in the summer, but,
Yeah.
but it would be totally fine, I think, in
And the
spring
plant
and
swaps
fall.
get huge
Yeah.
turnout.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the plant swaps do get huge turnout, and that is a library program. The courtyard would be an option. I'd like to see about an indoor space also for when the weather is just unbearable. Well, for me, it's August. August and February, just count me out.
And would you say you just say like 2 hours total time?
It would, if we have to set up tables, that's the only thing, we're talking about people being in here like 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
As far as the actual swap time, it's just to set it up.
Yeah,
and
they
figure
need
out
setup.
whatever that would take, so an hour and a half tops, I would think, as far as that would be.
So do they need to come in early to set up and tear down tables, or would the library already have that ready to go?
We generally don't set up and tear down
Okay.
tables for outside groups.
So probably 2 hours total.
And I might be able to do it, and like I said, I just need to be in front of the calendar.
Yeah.
It might be doable in one of these rooms. These rooms allegedly hold 60 people, but not all 3.
Yeah.
But it could be here. I'm thinking Storytime room is another option, and the courtyard is another option, so. We will get together and work it out.
Because even if we set up in 2 different, I'm familiar a little bit, I moved out of Pflugerville, but we do have Pflugerville residents here. But we could set up, let's say, in this area, and if you have the story area, our people would be happy to go to 2 different locations.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
We prefer to stick
Yeah.
together, but they do. They're used to just like a trunk swap. Some person parks here and the other person decides to park. They do it if they want.
Yeah, and it would be, it would need to be a partnership with the library if we were to do the rooms.
And the thing is that the biggest amount of time is just the setting up the puzzles, putting them out, because the people swap them pretty quickly. People come and just grab them up and they're grab their pile and they're heading out.
The
So.
swarm.
Yeah, we've seen those before.
Is the story room in the back of the kids' library?
Yeah, it's in the kids' area. One good thing about that is it opens into the courtyard, so it's feasible if you needed more space that could be a spillover space.
And then they would be able to access it from the courtyard instead of having to go through the kids' area? Because the only thing I'm concerned with there is if little kids are in there looking at their books and stuff like that, we have 60, you know, random strangers.
Yeah, you can get into the story time room. It can be closed off from the rest of the kids
Yeah,
area.
that sounds
and then-
great.
Yeah. But I'm not ruling out one of these spaces either. I just got to figure it out. I got to look at the calendar. And
Figured I'd ask for all three and then, you know. You gotta ask for the most.
bargain me down. Yeah. No, I like the idea.
I mean, I think it'd be
it
great
sounds
for
like
the
fun.
community, you know, some of the retirement homes, you know, I mean, just possibilities and bring exposure to the library.
It's, I like it, and the reason why I think it would work well as a partner group is because it's the whole idea of the library is a community living room, and it just sort of is one of those things that brings people in and brings them together, so.
That's what we've done.
Good. Sounds good.
I'm sorry. I also have a little question. I'm just the high school liaison, but I'm also a Boy Scout. So it's just a little bit of questions. Have y'all registered as a nonprofit organization, or like maybe like an LLC or anything like that?
No, this is all just about sharing the love of puzzles and not having to buy quite so many because we all go through them pretty quickly. And that's why we don't say it's like a one-on-one trade or anything like that. It's like just come bring whatever you have and take whatever you want as long as you use them. We do ask people to put them in bags or to tape the boxes shut. And if there's more than one piece missing, trash it because we don't want to mess with it. We generally go through the puzzles about every 3 months or 4 months, and if there's a bunch that have been around a long time, we go donate them somewhere. Yeah, or, you know, we've also donated them to like nursing homes or different places, so we try to do that, but we haven't registered as anything. We're not any kind of official.
And we accept no donations except of puzzles, so that kind of keeps us out of the line of having to register anywhere. There's been zero financial funds, even our business cards, it's like, hey.
We pay for them, and I'm sure it's the same thing.
So that's why there's been no registration, nor at this time do we typically care to go that avenue, because it's completely volunteer basis, everything's free.
Well, that's great. Actually, I answered a couple of other questions. Well, I was gonna say that if y'all ever need any workers, if y'all ever like, you know, I know that y'all function off of a volunteer basis. Boy Scouts are perfect volunteers. We may be, you know, just little teenager boys, but trust me, we are pretty capable. We've spent our times on an auger posting down fence holes, so we can surely handle puzzles.
We would love people to carry those boxes of puzzles.
You are saying that
You're like, cut up.
Oh
We
yeah.
have a number of
Carry
people
them.
my age who have to carry in a bunch of puzzles, so helping carry in puzzles, you know, being here, you know, would
And
be.
that's why it does
a
take
little-
us like 30, 45 minutes, because in the
There's only
few
like 4 of us.
occasions where we've had nieces and nephews come in, it takes us 10 minutes to get the puzzles on the table. If not, you're looking at the team with the additional one,
Yeah.
or the person who sets down and takes them all back home to put them in our closets.
Well, that's great. Well, if you ever need that, I do have a contact. But also, I can guarantee you one boy, which is me. So,
Great,
and
I'm already looking
and I-
at your name from here.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And
That'd be great.
I do promise you, I have no joint pain. So it's great.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing that to the board.
Is this something that we have to?
No.
Okay.
Okay, and next we have the director's report.
Okay, things are getting better. We're starting to see our stats getting close to where they were pre-pandemic, as usual. I won't go through the whole spiel because you've probably heard it 15 times. I did struggle a lot with, because during the pandemic, trying to get the program numbers out and trying to decide how the state was going to want us to report those numbers, you know, because a lot of the stuff was views on Facebook or on YouTube or something like that. So I'm still kind of trying to hash that out with the 2022 stuff, but we're getting closer to a time where we're going to be apples and apples instead of apples and oranges on our stats. But We, in October, was the beginning of the fiscal year. This is the second part of, the second month in that year, so our stats are looking pretty good compared to last year. Some of them are even better than pre-COVID. We have been focusing a lot on outreach. We do have in the budget this year to hire someone to do marketing and outreach. I know that was something that the library board was encouraging us to do, and we're going there. We're going to go for it. Programs that happened. We did have a program on the Holocaust, and we had an Western Ghost Town escape room, which was really fun for our 8 years and older crowd. The Heritage House Partners had a special dedication for Clarence Bowles. If you're not familiar with Clarence Bowles, I think he may have been one of the first mayors of Pflugerville. I don't think he was the very first, but he was one of the first mayors of Pflugerville. He grew up in the house. He was a big supporter of the library. And I was lucky enough to meet him when I first started here at the library as a reference librarian. But he made a point of meeting every director that came. And so I think I was the last one he met. Anyway, Clarence passed away, and they did a dedication of the bench for him. And it's outside the Heritage House, if y'all ever want to go by and see it. If you do go by Heritage House and look at it, please know that we are about to start repairs on that porch because it looks terrible. But, it sat for 2 years during the pandemic, and we have started the ball rolling on getting those repairs done, hopefully by spring. And then our seniors learned to paint a lighthouse with watercolors in October. And that is one of the many, many programs. I think that we're averaging probably close to 75 to 100 programs a month, which is a lot. And that's it. Do y'all have any questions?
We got Winterfest coming up.
Winterfest is coming up, yes. If anybody wants to volunteer, let me know. I will pass your information along, I know Holly did, to Carmen and Diane, who are putting that festival together.
Was there any more discussion with Parks and Rec regarding the project Sylvia had originally brought up, and I followed up with asking about the
gazebo?
Gazebo.
Yeah, I have not heard anything about where they're at on that. I did reach out to Shane, the Parks Director. I know he's super swamped right now, but if they're not able to get that moving, then we'll probably add that to our repairs and restoration of the Heritage House. So we'll add that component.
Well, this is my last month here, but just know that I would still love to be involved and help
Okay,
and bring
great.
volunteers, and I'm ready to sand and paint that thing.
Yeah.
Let me know. Don't forget, I'm here to help.
Great. It does need some help, yes.
Also, Scout Dads, they have a lot of tools.
Okay, that's good to know.
That's true. I've got one more thing under new business that I thought of when Sylvie was talking. A lot of the scout troops, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, they adopt trails and stuff like that. Have we ever thought about them adopting the library? And, they come up and clean up outside periodically, and then
That
that'd be
would be
great for
cool.
a Cub Scout troop. Come and clean up the outside grounds and then come into the library and get some books.
Yes, I won't go into that, but yes, that would be great.
I also have connections to some Cub Scouts. Pack 685 is a Cub Scout pack. We do have a lot of, we have like a bunch of 8, 9, Webelos, we call them, that love to do just small service projects. They're great volunteers. Also, they maybe can open up small little events those days where you can have people in the, what's it called, the story time room can, maybe do things for like Tiger Scouts or these new things called Lion Scouts, which are like the pre-K. But y'all can, it'd be great for the community. That's all I'm going to say. But
Okay.
we would love to help that. We take a lot of people from Pack 685. Yeah, I'm kind of rambling on here, but
That's okay, I do too. Yeah, just contact me about it and we'll get the ball rolling on it, and I'd be thrilled to have somebody come and help pick up trash. I was doing it this morning. So, yeah.
Sophie, anything for the teen liaison report?
Well, we don't have anything official, but there has been some warm feelings of, how do you say, hellos, warm hellos to a Miss Sakanga, who is a past librarian of the high school library,
Yeah.
but has moved on to the big leagues, which is the Pflugerville Library. And Miss Johnson would like to say hello and would like to wish her the best of luck here, and just again warm greetings.
Okay.
But that's generally it. Everything seems to be going great. I checked in with her yesterday. Really just tried to squeeze out as much information as possible if we could do anything to help, and it seems like everything's going great in that front. So,
Good.
yeah.
Glad to hear it.
And lastly, the Friends of the Library.
Okay, Friends of the Library met in November. It is the 40th anniversary of the library. The Friends formed in 1981 and started the library in 1982. So they were honored at a council meeting with a proclamation from the mayor, which was lovely. And one of our staff bought them a cake that was shaped like the library. So that was kind of cool. And they had another successful, I probably already reported on their book sale, but they had a very successful book sale, and they are the sponsors of the upcoming Winter Fest. They're not going to meet in December. Traditionally, they don't, so their next meeting will be in January.
Okay, and if there's no more new business, then we can adjourn at 6:32-ish.
Do we need a motion?
We need a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
And second?
Sure.
Second, okay.
Okay?
Thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you.